Babies develop motor skills rapidly, learning to roll over, sit up, crawl, pull to stand, and walk, usually in their first year of life. Babies with low muscle tone often need help to develop their movement skills. Occupational and physical therapists work with babies with low muscle tone. We struggle to facilitate good quality of movement as well as basic skills. Hip helpers were developed in response to this therapist's frustration with the figure 8 wrap designed to limit excessive hip abduction. I needed an extra pair of hands to stabilize hips and facilitate movement. This is Brittany. She has been wearing hip helpers for 2 months or so. Her transitions have improved, but without hip helpers, she often reverts to her old postures, sitting with her legs apart and her back rounded. Here is Brittany with her hip helpers on. Let's watch her move. Her trunk rotation improves. And her posture and sitting improves with more extension in her back. This is John. John has worn hip helpers for about 2 months. Without them, he has excessive hip joint range of motion. With his hip helpers on, his hips are better aligned and his transitions improve. Here is Eric. At 10 months, he is not yet crawling. His mother reports that he sleeps with each hip abducted to 90 degrees. Let's watch him for a moment. Here he rolls right up to sitting through his legs. Now we see Eric in hip helpers. His foot play increases immediately. His hip abduction is controlled. And in the end here he is able to get up on his knees. The hip helpers allow movement but prevent excessive hip abduction. Alexis has fluctuating muscle tone with poor transitional movements and a strong W-sitting pattern. This, her first session with hip helpers, promoted better hip alignment and stability, reducing her hip abduction. It facilitated kneeling. We see here as she tries again. She has to use more trunk rotation to change positions, but she will need more practice to change her old patterns. This little girl is walking, and we can see here that her ability to move is not limited by the hip helpers. A parent writes about hip helpers. Dear Mrs. McClellan, thank you for the hip helpers. The quality of our daughter's walking and crawling has improved immensely. In a letter from an occupational therapist, Joanne, the hip helper concept is great and it works well. The infant I'm using it with showed dramatic results. Your hip helpers are doing all the work for me.